Hello lovely Flosstube friends and welcome back to my channel. My name is Lauren, also known as Cross Stitch Bunny here on YouTube and over on Instagram. It has been a little while since I filmed. This is a little bit later than my usual episodes, but I've had a lot going on. This is going to be my March roundup, so all my stitching for the entire month of March plus what else I got up to in March. I am going to start off by talking about the Essex Needles Retreat. So if you are here purely for the stitching, I do have like a little bit of almost a mini WIP parade coming up today because I've worked on that many WIPs in March. You're going to be seeing a lot of stitching. So if that's what you're interested in, you may want to fast forward by about 10 minutes because first we are just going to have a little talk about the Essex Retreat. So in the month of March, I attended the Essex Needles Retreat, which is just near Stansted Airport in the Nova Hotel. It was a lovely weekend. I thoroughly enjoyed myself. I did take some lovely video footage while I was there around the room and of the finishers table because the finishers were beautiful. So much variety on display, and really sadly, when I got home, and I was scrolling through the gallery on my phone because I didn't take my proper camera, I just filmed on my phone. There was some sort of issue, I don't know, with the memory card in my phone and the formatting, and the videos were corrupted. So sadly, I cannot share with you my usual sort of retreat vlogging because it was just unrecoverable, which was a real shame. So I'm not able to share the finishers table with you. I do have a couple of photos, I think, of the stitching room that did survive the phone malfunction. So if I am able to retrieve those, I think I got a couple. I will pop some pictures on the screen. It will just be of the overview of the stitching room. Unfortunately, all my video footage is gone, but it was a lovely weekend. There were loads of us there, all busy stitching away. I did get quite a lot of actual stitching done, which was a surprise to me. But yeah, I got a lot of stitching done. I was supposed to take the Stitch Bunny shop with me to the retreat, but sadly I had a few things going on, like in the couple of weeks leading up to the retreat, and it was going to be too much pressure on top of everything else that was going on because I wasn't very well. It was going to be too much pressure to bring the shop. So yeah, Ellie, Teresa and Nikki were all very understanding and just said to me, just leave the shop, just bring yourself and, you know, just have fun. So that's exactly what I did. I just had a relaxing time, and it was definitely the right decision to leave the shop at home because I really just got to chill out. And there were a few times where I got a bit tired because, as I said, I hadn't been very well. So I did just sneak off to my room and have the odd nap. So yeah, it was the best decision, although I was really sad to not take the shop because that is something I always look forward to, but never mind. I had a lovely, just pure relaxation weekend instead. We played lots of fun games. We played bingo, other fun games of Ellie's creation. Yeah, it was a wonderful weekend with stitching friends. I had a lovely table. Sadly, Teresa was missing from our table because she was terribly, terribly unwell, which was such a shame. She messaged me a couple of days before the retreat to check that I was okay and that I was still coming. And I was like, yeah, I'm okay. I'm definitely coming. And she was like, that's great. I'm glad that you're feeling much better. She was like, however, I am not. And she'd come down with illness. So yeah, Teresa was missed. But we all had a good time on her behalf in her absence. So yeah, we had a lovely, lovely time. Gina was sat next to me and we had lots of nice chatting. We also did a lot of stitching. Gina and I were very studious with our stitching. We got plenty stitched. Yeah, and I just had a lovely time. I'm going to show you my haul because with me not dragging my shop along with me, I had more time to do my own shopping. I'm going to show you this first, which is not cross-stitchy, but I could not resist. So Susie was there selling her lovely WIP bags, but she also had some advent calendars that are like quilted. Isn't it beautiful? So this is one that I bought from her. So it's got like the Merry Christmas at the top and then all the little pockets on here that you can fill with your own stuff. So a reusable advent calendar that you can use every year. And they've got these hanging loops so that you can hang them on something. And I just thought these were gorgeous. Now, I actually bought 3 of these because I bought matching ones for Daisy and Hadley, but they have already, they've seen those, they've had them, they love them, and they've squirreled them away already in their wardrobes, waiting for use at Christmas. I think I did take pictures before they squirreled them away, so I'll pop pictures on the screen. I got like these 2 lovely like Christmas folky sort of trees, one in blue and one in reds and pinks. So those are going to be Daisy and Hadley's advent calendars for this year, and hopefully for all the years going forward. And then this one, I'd actually loved this one, but there was only one in this style, and I didn't want Daisy and Hadley to argue over calendars, which is why I bought them the same one, just in different colours. But this was the last one on the table, so yeah, Susie got completely cleaned out. Every calendar had sold, and this was the last one on the table, and then I couldn't leave it behind, so I thought, I'm having it. I bought that one. I don't need it, but I guess like Adam and I could use it as an advent calendar for ourselves, but I also thought I might gift this on to somebody. I just couldn't leave it there, looking all lonely on the table after all the others had sold. So that was purchase number 1. My next purchase, I'm just pulling them out of the bag at random. So my next purchase is the Nora Corba Atlantic Mermaid. This is from Hawkins Hobbies. Serena and Robert were there selling their goodies. So my beautiful Nora Mermaid, North Atlantic. And I got her as a full kit without fabric, so all the DMC are in there, any beads and treasures that she requires are in there. So yes, looking forward to stitching her. And there is, I don't know if there's a picture of it on the back here, but there is a whole series of these mermaids with names of all the different oceans, and not all of them are to my taste, but there is one other. I was just looking if she was on the back here. She isn't. There's one other that I really like. I will pop a picture up on the screen. And I thought that this one would go really well with the other one, which I'll pop here. I thought they would make a really nice pair. They are like very similar colours, and I just thought they would work really well together. So my plan is to stitch both of those on the same piece of fabric, but Zarina didn't have the other one available at the retreat, so she is kitting it up for me, and I will either get her to post it to me or get it next time I see her. So yes, I've sort of got one mermaid and the other one is on pre-order, as it were, for Zarina to organise for me. The next bit of shopping I did was with Talking Dog Stitchery. And I got the 12 Days of Christmas booklet of stockings, 12 ornament designs by Annie Belcher. I'm sure that most of you will be incredibly familiar with this already because many people have stitched it. I think this booklet has a bit of a cult following. And yeah, it is a beautiful booklet. I don't know if there's a page with just all the designs on. No, unfortunately not. They're all next to their patterns, so I can't show you every stocking. But it is a lovely book, and it goes through all of the 12 days of Christmas. So you have the number 1 stocking with the partridge in the pear tree. You've then got your 2 turtle doves, your 3 French hens, 4 calling birds, your 5 gold rings, and then when you get to number 5, there's some pictures in here as well to show you on here of the original sort of drawings that the stockings were based on, which is amazing. When you get to number 6 for 6 geese and so on, and the patterns then change to just being like a single goose with the number 6 rather than trying to fit, 6 of them onto a tiny stocking and 7 swans. Yeah, but it is a beautiful, beautiful booklet. I'll give you a peek here as well. There's some more of the stitched up designs. So you've got like the 12 drummers drumming. Just absolutely beautiful. I love these so much. Jess, who also has a Flosstube, Jess's online name has just completely flown from my head, but I will pop her account link in the show notes, her account name. Jess has done some wonderful stitching on these already, and she's finished them, like fully finished them into the most gorgeous little tiny stockings, and they are beautiful. definitely go and have a look at Jessa's Flosstube and her Instagram if you want to see some of these actually fully finished. She's done amazing work. Next, what have we got? Oh, this was from the D-Stash table, and this is a Taj Mahal kit. So you've got the Taj Mahal there with these birds flying overhead. I love the colours on this, and it's got the reflection in the water. This is a Heritage Stitchcraft kit. I think it's quite an old one. It is an Ada kit, but it is full coverage. So yeah, all that Ada will be covered. Just a small full coverage kit. And I grabbed that because my mum and dad, actually, while I was at the Essex retreat, they were still in India. They had been on a several week-long trip to India, like touring the country, seeing lots of different things. They did visit the Taj Mahal and they had told me how amazing it was. Yeah, mum and dad had just had such an amazing time in India. It was on their bucket list as a destination they'd never visited, that they wanted to visit now that they're both retired. And I thought that if I stitched that for them at some point, that will be a lovely memory of their trip. Because they won't be going back. It was sort of a once in a lifetime ticket off your list sort of trip. So I thought that would be a nice memory for them when I get round to doing it. My next purchase is also from Zarina, another Zarina purchase from Hawkins Hobbies, and this is Little Miss, is she Ladybird or Ladybug? I'm not sure. Ladybug, I think. So this is a Nora Corbett design. She's very cute. I've seen her stitched multiple times on the finish tables at many of the Northampton retreats, like the Nobam retreats or the Mira retreats, and I've always thought she's really cute and really pretty. I've wanted her for a couple of years, so I decided to go ahead and buy her. Again, I've got the kit without fabric, so I've got my chart, I've got my DMC threads and the bead pack. All there. Next in my goodie bag was a little freebie from the freebies table. So this is a little calendar and it's got 6 designs of these cute little rabbits. Thank you to whoever put this on the table, marked as free. Daisy is obsessed with rabbits. She keeps wanting a pet rabbit, but we just can't get her one because of the number of dogs we've got. But I thought I might make her one of these little tins at some point with the cute little bunny character in. That is originally from Cross Stitcher magazine as a freebie. So that is that. Next in my bag is another purchase from Talking Dog Stitchery. This is a filigree carrot cake chart, and I loved it. Now really it is a shame that I've sort of missed the boat for stitching this for this Easter, but I think I could stitch this at any point in spring and it would still seem very seasonal even through into summer. So this is my little carrot cake chart. It's got the bunnies and the carrot cake and all these little motifs. It is so cute, and Rachel kitted it for me there and then, so I just said, have you got the threads for it, because they were all over dyes that were called for, and she went through her rack of threads and just kitted it for me, so I am all set to go once I pick some fabric. So that was a lovely little chart. What else have I got in my bag? This was also on the freebie table. This is the Friendship Sampler by The Blue Flower. And I absolutely love this. I love the words on it. I just thought this would be really nice. And it looks as if, like on the finishing, on the back, they've finished it as a drum. Or I guess you can just stitch it as it is on the front here, just as 2 blocks, one below the other. But yeah, that's a really cute little chart. Again, whoever put this on the table for free didn't mark their name on it, but thank you to whoever did. Then got a couple of beautiful sparkly fabrics from Kate. All in blues and all opalescent. These are both 32 count even weaves. They're very pretty, and I think there was one more, if I can find it. No, one more. Yes, there is one more. So I also got this one. I'm not taking them out of the packets because I'm terrible at refolding them, but these are all 32 counts and all sparkly because I am a sucker for sparkly fabric. Oh, I'm getting covered in my purchases here. These 3 are also blue and sparkly, and these were all off the de-stash table, being de-stashed by Joe. So I've got a blue sparkly one here, like a more greeny blue, like turquoisey sparkle, and then a dark like bluey purpley grey sparkle. And these are a mixture of 32 count and 28 count. So I'm very well stocked at this point for stitching loads of Twinkle Tuesday projects for the foreseeable future. Next in my little bag, we're getting to the end now, is another freebie off the freebie table. This is Jack and Jill by Country Cottage Needlework. So it's just based on the little nursery rhyme. I thought this was super cute, and it was just coincidental that the week before the retreat, Hadley had a piece of homework where he had to like do some illustrations based on his favourite nursery rhyme, and he picked Jack and Jill, and he just kept telling me for the whole week how much he loves Jack and Jill, and he was excited to do this special piece of homework. So when I spotted this on the table with Jack and Jill, I was like, that is perfect. It is a tiny little small, and I would like to stitch this up for him at some point very soon because it won't take long. And I thought I could just like frame it, or even maybe try my hand at turning it into like a very small pillow that he can just have in his room. So that is all of my stitchy purchases, and then the last bits in my bag are some beautiful cards. So one of the ladies at the retreat does like card making with the like the papers and the die cut things, and yeah, they are beautiful cards, and I just thought I'd share them with you. These were created, I've forgotten the lady's name, and I'm so sorry. If anyone knows, please pop it in the comments. But yes, this lovely lady had spent loads of time making these gorgeous cards, and then she was selling them to raise money for charity. There was a suggested donation of £1 a card, which was just crazy given how much work has gone into these and how beautiful they are. So I ended up having 9 cards and gave a more generous donation than that which was asked for, because they were so worth it. They were just beautiful. So I got 9 of them. And I won't hold them all up for too long because I know these are not stitching, but I just wanted to show you how pretty these are. Like absolutely beautiful. There was a couple based on the gorgeous characters, which Bothy obviously make into cross-stitch kits as well. So I thought they were super cute. I'll just hold them up 2 at a time. But yeah, aren't they beautiful? These gorgeous handmade cards. Just really, really lovely. And raising money for a really good cause. The charity that they were supporting, they just decided to support whichever charity Ellie, Teresa and Nikki had chosen to support that year, because the retreat raffles and things like that always go towards a charity, a different charity each year. And for this year's Essex Needles retreat, we were supporting the sponsored marathon run that one of the hotel staff was doing in aid of a children's charity. Which one escapes me, but I know that all the funds raised from the cards and our raffles and everything else we had going on was going towards, I think it may have been Save the Children or another similar children's charity. So yes, those cards were supporting a great cause. That is all of my Essex stuff. I cannot wait to go back again in September. I'm going back to Essex to the same retreat for the September installment, and that is going to be super fun, and I will be taking my shop to that one, all being well. So now that we've looked at Essex, let's have a look at all of my March stitching, and we are going to start off by looking at some facts and figures. But for me to get to my book, I need to clear away all this stash. So I'll be 1 minute. So in the month of March, I worked on 10 projects, which is more than I've worked on in a month. For as long as I can remember. 10 projects is a lot, but there is a reason for that. I was participating in March Stitchy Madness, which we will get to in just a minute. But my overall sort of stats for the month of March, I haven't added up my stitchy time, but I can tell you that I started the month with 28 WIPs on the go. I had 1 new start and I had 1 finish. So my WIP count for March remained stable at 28, and out of my 28 WIPs, as I said, I worked on 10 of them. So let's have a look at what I worked on, starting with my finish. I had a single finish in the month of March, and it is not just a finish but an FFO, so I'm super happy. And that is my bookmark. So I finished my Flamingo bookmark. This was a little kit. The details of the kit are escaping my memory in terms of designer. Yeah, I can't remember, but it is in my January Flosstube or my February when I started this. But this is my finished bookmark. So I stitched 3 flamingos. It's on 14 count Ada. That all came as kit. This was like a scalloped Ada band, so that you don't have to finish off the edges. And then once I'd finished stitching it, I backed it with the felt that came in the kit, but in between the felt and the stitching, I don't know if the camera will pick it up very well, but I did put like some foam board in between just to give it some more like rigidity, and I hot glued it. And then at the bottom here, I followed the instructions to put this tassel through this little stitched circle. So that is my bookmark, all ready to use, and I have been using it. So that was my finish. All the other projects I worked on that I'm now going to show you are from March Madness. So what is March Madness? If you follow me on Instagram, I participated in March Madness, and it's basically just sort of a tournament for your own cross-stitch WIPs or new starts. I think there are official rules. I was not entirely following those because I think the official rules, you have like 4 existing WIPs and 4 new starts. I didn't do that. I think all of my WIPs in this were existing WIPs. And you basically pitch them against each other. So you start with 4 pairs of 2, and then from each pair you vote through a winner. So it goes from 8 to 4 to 2 to 1, and each project gets worked on for a day in each round, and you see where you end up and you see who the winner is. So thank you to everyone who voted and participated on my Instagram polls, because it made it really fun. It wouldn't have been very fun if no one had voted, and yeah, it was really fun. I'm going to show you all 8 projects, not in any particular order, but I will save the winning project until last. So I worked on Letistitch Curious Tiger. This is a full coverage kit, but it is not a huge full coverage. And this was one of my March Madness projects. And this is where it was last time you saw it, and I got a little bit done. So yeah, when I said that everything got stitched on for a day during March Madness, obviously by a day I don't mean I sat there and stitched all day, because sadly I don't think any of us have time for that, but every project got touched as part of March Madness for the day that it was its turn. And this is where I got to with Curious Tiger. So I'm not sure that you'll see a huge difference, but I've just been chipping away at this. Every time I pick it up, it's just a case of filling in the blank bits and trying to get a little bit more progress. This is such a joy to stitch on with all the beautiful colours. I believe that all the threads in the Letistitch kits are anchor. I'm pretty sure these are anchor threads. Does it tell me? Yeah. I was just checking on the front of the packet. These are anchor threads, and this is on a 16 count sort of easy gridded fabric that came with the kit. I do actually really like this particular gridded fabric. I don't like gridded fabric in general, but this one is such a pale grid. It's not the typical blue grid, and I quite like that. So yeah, that is Curious Tiger, the first project that I worked on for March Madness. Sorry, I'm not leaving all of these out because I will get myself in a total muddle, so we're going to put away as we go. Second project for March Madness is a more recent start. This is my Deadly Aquarium. So a lot of you will be familiar with this beautiful pattern by Lola. I know it's been extremely popular on social media. A lot of people have enjoyed stitching on this and stitched on it as part of the actual sal. I didn't, And then I had a lot of sadness over missing out on doing it, because as they released more and more parts of the mystery cell, I realised how much I loved it. But I will finish it at some point. So last time you saw it, this is where I was up to. And I have made some progress on this. So this is the March progress that was made. I hope you can see a difference. I definitely can. I think it is looking pretty good. I am stitching this on a grey even weave. I'm not sure what count it is. Does it say? 36. So I'm stitching this on like a really nice grey 36 count even weave, and this is the Overcast Sky. I should probably put the board behind it, then you'll see it better. This is the Overcast Sky printed even weave from my own Stitch Bunny shop. This is one of the most popular colours that I sell actually. I think it's just so versatile for so many things. And I don't know what threads I'm stitching this with because I'm just so unorganised today. Let's have a little look in my box. Royal Broidery. So yeah, I've got them all in this little box, and it looks like I'm stitching primarily with Royal Broidery. So all my Royal Broidery threads, I put a little RB in the corner so that I know what brand they are, and all my threads that don't have anything written on them other than the number are DMC, and there's a mixture in here. So it looks like I'm stitching this with Royal Broidery and also with DMC mixed together, because clearly I didn't have all the colours I needed in one brand, but that is fine. I don't have a problem mixing Royal Broidery together with DMC. They're both 100% cotton and they're both so similar. I never see a problem in mixing those two. I try and not mix either of them with CXC, because CXC is obviously a little bit fluffier, a thicker thread, and it isn't 100% cotton. But yes, I am using mixed threads on that project. My next project is a dragon. So I had 2 dragons that entered the fray in March Madness, and one was my Sapphire dragon. So this is my Sapphire dragon by Art Custom Korea. And I'm stitching this, I think, on an 18 count, like navy blue Ada. And I think compared to last time, you will see some progress. I did take this with me to Essex. I'm pretty sure, yeah, I'm pretty sure I took this to Essex and got a fair bit of work on it. So this is how it is looking at the moment. Now I was actually really surprised because the 2 dragons in March Madness, I pitted them against each other in the same category to see which dragon would win and get voted through, and it was this one, which is why I did end up taking this to Essex and giving it its 2nd or 3rd day of work. I can't remember how many rounds it got through, but yeah, this got some love at the Essex retreat after making it through the initial round. And I really thought that the Koi dragon would be the one to go through, but it was this one. So yeah, you guys surprised me, but I really enjoyed getting some progress on this. I'm working on this project in Saga, which I love to use as a tracking program, like as opposed to Pattern Keeper. This is in Saga, so that's a nice bonus for me that it is a Saga pattern. And I am stitching this. Let's check the thread box. I am stitching this with Royal Broidery, and it looks like they are all Royal Broidery. So yeah, all Royal Broidery threads for that one. Yeah, this is a really fun project. I'm still very near the beginning. There is so much left to do. I think there are around 26 to 27,000 stitches in that design, and I've probably done a couple of thousand at best. I might not even be in the 2000s yet, so there is a long way to go. Let's see if we can pull out my other dragon. So Koi dragon, as I said, I was surprised that you guys did not vote this one through to round 2, but you didn't. So this just got 1 round of stitching during March Madness, which was not enough to finish it. I did have it on my sort of loose list of March goals that I wanted to finish this within March. And I thought that it would progress through the March Madness rounds further than it did, in which case I might have gotten closer to finishing it, but it was not meant to be. that is fine. It will get finished when it gets finished. This is a lovely design by Nadezdha Gavrilenkova. Had to think then, it went out of my mind. And I have made some progress. So like I said, it didn't get as much stitching as I thought because it got kicked out of the competition fairly soon in its first round, but I have made progress. So I have been doing some more filling in. I just love showing this one to you guys so much. It is such a beautiful project. I'm stitching it on the most basic of basic 14 count black Adas, and it's perfect for it. It just makes the colours stand out and they are so vibrant against the black. I cannot wait for this to be done. I am so close at this point, like relatively speaking. This is so close to a finish and I cannot wait. Isn't it beautiful? I could just look at this one all day. I am stitching this with CXC threads. This is an old WIP. I started it when I was still very much using CXC for a lot of projects. And this is being stitched yeah, entirely in CXC threads. Beautiful, beautiful WIP. So that is dragon number 2. Look at my messy back. I don't really show my backs very often, but look at that. Some of you will be having a heart attack. For those of you that are also messy back stitchers, yeah, you're not alone. Hopefully that makes you feel better. Oh, I know some people are really particular about their backs. I mean, some of it. You can see some of it I have worked methodically. But yeah, then on a piece this big, then I just tend to, yeah, go a bit off-piste. You can see some of it was stitched neatly. But the front is beautiful, and that is what we care about. So yeah, that is Dragon 2. Next up is my Gecko Rouge Shock Tart. This is the design. So the artwork is by Clarissa Rose, who is one of my favourite designers, whose designs get charted by Gecko Rouge. I think 3 or 4 of my Gecko Rouge kits are by this artist. So yes, this is Shock Tart. I just love how fun she is and all the colours and all her tattoos that I will never have. I am entirely ink free. I'm too scared of needles, and I don't mind admiring other people's body art, but yeah, I won't have any myself. So yeah, she can be like my alter ego with her super cool unicorn tattoos. And this is where I got up to compared to last time. So I will pop a little picture up of last time you saw her. I had not worked on her for a long time, which is why I thought I would include her in the March competition. This is where I'm at. She had been in a long timeout due to me making a mistake in the green. So I didn't work on any of the green during March Madness. For all the time that I worked on her, I was concentrating on filling in the arm there with the pink, because that is the important bit to get right, and then any mistake that I've made in the green doesn't really matter as long as it doesn't like knock out my stitching counts on the actual lady herself. So I'm concentrating on the lady, and I will not continue with the green on this side of her until sort of all of her outline is in. And then, you know, wherever I've gone wrong in the green, it doesn't matter. So yeah, that is where we are at. I've got a fair bit done on her. I feel like I filled in a good decent chunk. I know that she's still very far from a finish. This is being stitched, I think, on either 16 or 18 count Ada, and with all the threads supplied by Gecko Rouge, which I believe are DMC. Yeah, DMC. What am I stitching her on? Is it 18 count? I think it is. Yes, 18 count I'm stitching her on. So that is my Shock Tart. We have 2 WIPs left to go. this next WIP I'm sharing with you is my Winter Woods, and I've just found a second needle randomly stuck to the back of it, which is very random. There was an extra needle stuck to the back of my needle minder as well as the front. That's a bit weird. Glad I just found that. So this is Winter Woods. This is a design by Satsuma Street. It was originally a Sal, but myself and Rosie from Rosie X Stitchers completely missed the memo that this pattern even existed. So we missed the original Sal. We both picked the pattern up during a previous Jingle Ball, and we decided to have our own Sal, and we called it Late to the Winter Woods Sal. So yes, I decided to include this in the March Madness, and I think this one did get a second round. I'm pretty sure this one got voted through from its initial round and did get a second round. I didn't get a huge amount done, I've got to be honest, but I was working on this border and it is quite slow going. So yeah, this is what I got done. Not a lot of stitching, and you can see that on the days that it did get work, I perhaps didn't have that much time to stitch. But at least I've chipped away at it a little bit. This is being stitched on a beautiful piece of hand-dyed even weave. I want to say that it is a 32 count. I'm pretty sure it is. It's a random hand dye from my stash. Really nice. It's not one of mine because it's not got my overlocking on. Yeah, just a random piece from my stash, and I am stitching this with Royal Broidery threads. For the most part, there might be like 1 or 2 DMCs in there, possibly. Let's have a look. No, they all look, oh no, they're all Royal Broidery except one CXC. I've had to mix a single CXC in there. It was obviously a colour that I didn't have in Royal Broidery or in DMC. So yeah, that is my Winter Woods. I'm using one of my favourite needle minders on this. I always let him have a bit of screen time when we pull out any WIP that I'm using him on. I just love him so much. My glittery, super cute hedgehog. He's so cute, I love him. He is from my Stitch Bunny shop. Yeah, I snaffled one of those years ago when I put that design into stock, and he remains a firm favourite of mine. He's just such a happy hedgehog. So, what was the winning project, you ask? If you were following me on Instagram, you will know which one is missing from the lineup. It is a beautiful Sweetwing Studio pattern. My entire Instagram grid at the moment seems to be dominated by the Wordy birds. This is Wordy Birds March, so I have finished January and February already. It was very much my intention to want to get the March one completed in the month of March. Didn't quite achieve that, but I am not far from a finish. So this beautiful design, last time you saw it, I was, you know, making really good progress, and I have pushed it closer to the finish line. Let's have a look. Here we are. So this is where we're at. And you can see, like, I'm so close to the finish line. All the writing is done. That big chunky border at the bottom, that is a lot of the stitching, is complete. Got these 2 flower pots that are finished. And then I've done these sort of 4-leaf clovers up here with the cloud. One of the birds is entirely complete. Other than, like, I think the French knot, which I will put in at the end for his eye. And then I've made a start on the pot in the middle. I think that's going to be a pot of gold. So yeah, I've got 1 bird, 1 cloud, and a repeat of these clovers on this side to do. And then I just need to finish the pot, and we will be finished. If I'm honest, I would have finished this by now. As we are on April the 5th, I would have easily finished this by now if I had worked on it in the first few days of April. However, just my brain likes to keep my Flosstube episodes sort of neat and tidy. So if I end up late with my filming, where are my threads? Ooh, my bag has no threads in it. Oh my goodness, so where have they gone? That is a bit of a problem, isn't it? For trying to finish it, my threads are not in my bag. Okay, that's a later problem. I'll sort that out later. I'll find them. Anyway, as I was saying, I would have finished this in these first 5 days of April had it not been for the fact that I just didn't have time to film my Flosstube. And in my head, I don't like filming my Flosstube sort of 5 days into the month and then holding up a project to show my March progress when I've then been stitching on it in the next month. Like, my brain just doesn't like it. So for that reason, I deliberately have not stitched. I've not stitched on anything that I stitched on in March, so that all my March progress could be saved for this video, and I've just worked on other projects for these first few days of April, just to keep everything neat and tidy in my head. Now that I have shown you this will 100% be getting some love, probably in the next couple of days, and I'm hoping to finish it. So yeah, that will be a finish soon. So I've still got 2 bags over here, and I'm not sure what's in them. Oh no! I've missed one project. I was trying to save my winner for last, and I've missed one. It was hiding from me. So, one more project from March Madness, and this is my Whimsical alphabet. This is a Maria Demina design, and I've made a little bit of progress during March Madness, not loads, but you can see where she was last time. And this is where, I say she, there's a lot of characters on this, but the one I'm currently working on is the ice cream lady in the pink here. And this is where I'm at compared to last time you saw this piece. And I have really enjoyed stitching on this on Twinkle Tuesdays. Chipping away at this beautiful alphabet for Daisy. This is being stitched on a 16 count super sparkly fabric. And I think I'm stitching it with DMC, but let's check. Yeah, I'm stitching this all with DMC and with the cord 4 Krynic. There is so much sparkle in this design. It is insane. I have already got a few like empty Krynic spools from this design. It uses 3 different sparkly colours, so sparkly pink, gold and blue in every character. Oh, it's just so beautiful. I love this one so much. So yes, I can't believe I nearly forgot that one. That is all of March Madness, which means we have one project left in this miniature WIP parade. I always think if something is in double figures, it counts as a mini WIP parade. We have looked at 9 projects. We've looked at the 8 projects from March Madness. We've looked at my Flamingo bookmark that was not part of March Madness. And that leaves us to finish on my new start. So my single new start for the month of March was this lovely Karen Carter collection kit by Heritage Crafts, and it is called Vegetable Patch. And here is the design. So it is this lovely vegetable patch full coverage design, but it is very small. So all the Karen Carter full coverage designs that Heritage do are very small. They are not giant full coverages. You know, the design will be around 16 or 17 centimetres when it is finished on this 27 count even weave. So it's effectively like approximately 14 count Ada equivalent fabric. And it will measure less than 17 centimetres when it is finished. All the detail in these patterns comes from the backstitch, so you do the full coverage and then you add all the crazy amounts of backstitch, but it just gives it so much life. I love Karen Carter. I am a Karen Carter super fan, and I collect her kits. I collect her kits, and it's nice to actually have started another one. I haven't worked on one for quite some time. This was a new start for the Essex retreat, so I took this along to Essex with me, and all of this progress was made at the retreat, other than maybe like an hour of stitching that I did on my return. I've got my cute little bunny needle minder on here because we are in Easter and it's sort of like a garden pattern with vegetables. I thought the bunny works for it. And this is where I got to. Flip this round. So this is the garden shed here, taking shape at the top with some of the bushes in front of it. And down here, this blue is like the fence panels with like the sandy sort of paddock behind it that's going to have my chickens in. So yeah, there's none of the characters stitched yet, none of the chickens. I've not done the fox, but I think I've made a really good start on this. I would recommend, if you do like the Karen Carter kits, if you obviously follow Heritage on Instagram so you can see if any new ones come out, but if there's any of the existing Karen Carter kits that you love, if you buy from different retailers, a lot of them like only sell in the Ada version, but if you buy direct from Heritage, you do get the option between do you want Ada or do you want even weave. If you can find another retailer that sells the even weave option, great, but I would really advise to always go for even weave with these Karen Carter full coverage kits. And the reason I say that is because there are a lot of fractional stitches. They're nothing to be scared by, and they're not difficult to stitch, but they are a lot easier to work on an even weave fabric than on the Ada. You don't have to punch holes where no holes exist, because when you're working on even weave, those holes for the half stitches, quarter stitches, like squashed stitches, yeah, they're very easy to stitch on even weave. The first ever Karen Carter full coverage kit that I did from Heritage, I did make the mistake of having the Ada version because I just thought, well, Ada is easy to work on. If you're just doing full cross and you're doing full coverage, it's not going to show through. So yeah, I made the mistake of doing it on Ada, and then partway through I wished that I had known about all the fractional stitches because I would have chosen to do it on even weave. So yes, that is just my top tip. If you decide to stitch any of these kits, give yourself an easy time and stitch it on the even weave. I am glad to say that I enabled Ellie at the retreat. I don't know if she's made a purchase yet. I will have to ask her, but when I started this kit, Ellie, so Ellie Welly Stitcher, she loved this Karen Carter kit, and then I sent her down a rabbit hole of going onto the Heritage website, and she was looking at them and she found loads of cute farm animal kits that she loved that are now on her wish list. So yes, happy to have helped, Ellie. Yeah, so that is everything. Obviously that is a kit, so I'm stitching it with all the kit supplied materials, and I think I did mention it's on a 27 count even weave, I believe. And that is everything. Oh, also this particular kit, I've just put it back in the box, but this Karen Carter kit was a present quite some time ago from my lovely friend Sarah, Cross Stitch Mad Sarah, who knows how much I love chickens, and she bought me that. So thank you, Sarah. That is everything. I hope that you've enjoyed this episode. Yeah, lots of WIPs to share. My plans for March, I did not really get through all my plans. So obviously my main goal was to finish Wordy Birds March. That isn't quite done, but I'm very close. That will be done soon. The one goal that I did finish was to finish my Flamingo bookmark and FFO it. So I did get myself one tick. The other two loose goals that I had set for the month were to work on the Siren Cell. Obviously that was absent from this episode, so that did not pan out. And the other thing I wanted to do was finish Dragon Koi, and again that didn't happen. As part of March Madness, I really thought that WIP would potentially make it all the way through. I thought that would be the winner, and it wasn't, so it didn't get as much stitching time as I had sort of thought it might. So yes, not a big month for hitting goals. My retreat plans didn't go to plan either, with having to leave the shop behind, but all things said, I had a good stitchy month. I enjoyed what I did stitch on, and I am looking forward to my April stitching. Like I said, we're 5 days into April. I have already had 2 new starts. I'm giving nothing away. You will have to wait for April's episode. The one thing I will quickly mention though, before I say goodbye to you all, is that one of the new starts that I've not started yet in April, but that I am going to start today, is the Wings of Spring sale. So this is a lovely sale. If I can find my phone under all this chaos. Where is it? Oh, there it is. My phone is drowned by WIPs. I will attempt to show you on the screen if I am able. So here it is. Oh, there's a new Instagram update. So Pony Stitchers has posted out saying, it's time. Wings of Spring Part 1 is out now. So there it is. There's the reveal for Part 1. I've not even looked at this yet because I've not looked in my email box. But yeah, there's still time to join as well. I'm just looking on her Instagram. So Pony Stitchers, who you can find on Instagram, has a sale. And as you can see, it's just all kicking off. It's starting right now. It is called the Wings of Spring sale. And it is going to be inspired by nature, and it's all going to be butterflies or other flying insects. Spring theme. The recommended fabric is like a pale green. There is a limited colour palette for the actual stitching. There might be like somewhere between like 14 and 20 different colours. Not a huge number of colours, but they are all lovely. I have actually pulled all the threads for it and got them ready, and I've been waiting for the pattern to hit my inbox, and apparently, according to Instagram, it should be there waiting for me at this point. I am taking part in this sale as a gifted sale, so the pattern was kindly gifted to me by Mila at Pony Stitchers. She asked if I would like to join in. I do a lot of nature inspired stitching, a lot of animal stitching, so yes, Mila contacted me and asked if it sounded like something I would enjoy, and I said yes. So I am going to be having that as a new start today, and like I said, it appears that you can still join in. There is still time according to Instagram if you're interested in participating. And even if you don't want to jump onto this sale because sales aren't necessarily your thing, or you don't like mystery patterns, I would say that on Mila's page on Instagram, if you go and have a look at Pony Stitchers, there is so many pretty designs that I absolutely love. Yeah, and I didn't know that she has a Patreon, which I've now had a little look at, and I'm so tempted by it. Although she's got all these beautiful patterns that are sort of jungle and or animals from around the world, but they're all in like a similar style. Very beautiful. Go and look at them on Instagram. My favourite is the koala bear pattern of a koala with its baby, and yeah, I just love it. The colours and the way the pattern is designed is gorgeous, and sadly I've missed out because that is a previous Patreon release which is now gone. The good news though is that if you've missed any of the patterns that are there that were Patreon exclusives, you can get them 12 months later on her Etsy shop. So I have added her shop to my list of favourite shops on Etsy, and I am waiting until January of next year so I can grab the koala bear pattern that I missed out on. But yes, if you like the idea of the sale, please do join in. I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and if not, go and check out the Pony Stitchers Instagram page. There are a lot of pretty designs on there just in general, and she does have a lovely Etsy shop and also a Patreon if you really, really like her designs and want to receive one every single month. My phone is ringing, so I will keep my goodbye short and sweet. Goodbye everyone, and I will see you for April's episode. Take care, happy stitching. Bye!